Hello and welcome to this talk. I'm going to talk about bullying discussions in UK female influencers' YouTube comments. And this talk is going to be partly about using the software Mozdeh and partly about this paper, but I'm going to focus on the results of this paper. So this is a case study of analysing comments in YouTube videos for this particular topic of bullying, and it has a context of the UK and UK female influencers on YouTube. So a little bit of context about bullying first. Bullying is a widespread problem for children internationally and especially at school. This is a very common problem for children, and it has immediate physical or emotional pain, and it can cause long-term psychological harm as well. And it affects both boys and girls at school. There are other types of bullying, such as workplace bullying, but I'm going to focus on bullying at school, since that seems to be the main version that's discussed in YouTube comments. If you've been bullied, then you can get help from counsellors and online support groups to talk through your problems or to see others' perspectives. But many victims don't do that. Many victims seek no help at all, but internalise their feelings and keep quiet, and that may lead to long-term effects on their mental health. Maybe small, maybe large, but there can be reasons why they don't seek any kind of support. For example, embarrassment and shame and blaming themselves. Self-blaming is common amongst victims of bullying and can generate really bad self-image, such as feelings of worthlessness. So it's a very bad problem, bullying, as well, not just the temporary feelings, but in the long term potentially. So why YouTube for bullying? Well, female lifestyle influencers on YouTube often share personal stories or discuss personal issues or talk about things that would normally not be shared amongst strangers, that might be discussed amongst friends or not at all by some people. And they have a friendly style, which means that they try to relate to their audience. And if you watch an influencer's video, then you maybe feel that they're your friend. You relate to them a little bit like a friend. So this would be called a parasocial relationship, if you get feelings of friendship for a person, even though they don't really know that you exist. And these influencers sometimes discuss mental health issues and previous bullying problems, or discuss bullying amongst their friends. So it is a topic that is sometimes discussed by female lifestyle influencers, not always, but sometimes. So if you follow one of these influencers, then you might just stumble across their discussions of bullying. So it's something that you might meet, even if you didn't actively seek it out. For example, you might follow an influencer and one week they're talking about clothes, another week makeup, and then the following week they introduce a personal story and talk more about themselves. So they add a little bit of variety to their YouTube channel. And that might include bullying or mental health issues or other personal contexts. And the comments on these videos can reveal the attitudes of the more general public towards bullying. And if you're a person that's been a victim of bullying and you see an influencer talking about bullying, then you might get reassurance directly from the influencer. And if you read the comments under the video, then you get a perspective about how others react to the bullying as well. So you're getting as an anonymous viewer, you're getting feedback on the context of bullying and the reactions of other people towards bullying. So if this is positive, then this might be very helpful to you, maybe allow you to come to terms with a bad experience in your past, or even an ongoing experience at school. And here's an example of a video. A female YouTube influencer, Imagination is her channel, and she discusses bullying related themes occasionally in her channel, although that's by far not the main theme. And she's built up a huge audience of followers and she regularly produces new videos that are released on YouTube. So how do we analyze the comments on influencer videos? So we use a method called word association thematic analysis, which I'll explain in a little bit. So the objective of this study was to get insights into bullying related themes that are different from discussions on the influencer videos more generally. So we specifically wanted to see how people discussed bullying in a different way to the way that they discussed other things in the channel. And the reason for that was that these forums are generally supportive places. So if people leave supportive comments about bullying, then that might just be the tone of the channel, or it might be more specific to bullying. So we kind of factored out the tone of the channel by comparing comments about bullying to comments about other things within each influencer's channel. So we picked 34 popular UK female influencers, and we downloaded the comments on all their videos from YouTube with Mozdeh. So YouTube allows you to download comments for research purposes, and the free software Mozdeh will do the downloading for you. So you just need to find the URL of the channel name of each influencer, and then you put those URLs into Mozdeh and it'll download all the comments for you. So it's fairly straightforward with Mozdeh, although it takes a while. And then the next stage, we split the comments into two bullying related comments. And the bullying related comments we identified by them containing one of the terms in this list. So bullying, bullying, or cyberbully, or cyberbullied. And the remaining comments that didn't mention one of these terms, we analysed separately. We used as a comparator set. And then in stage 3, we identified 100 words that were more commonly used in the bullying set than the remainder, and then we organised them into themes manually. So partly automatic with Mozdeh for the data collection and separation, and then the final stage is a human stage to identify themes from these words. So I'll explain that in a little bit more detail. So this is an overview of the whole process. So we start off with the YouTube comments at the top. Then Mozdeh splits the comments into the bullying set and the remainder. And then it identifies 100 words that are more common in the bullying set than the remainder. And that's the word association detection stage. Then the next stage, word association contextualization, identifies the context or meaning of all these words by reading a sample of the comments containing them. And then the final stage, thematic analysis, groups these words into different topics or themes that have similar meanings or overlap in some way, similar context in some way. So the end result is a set of themes identified in the comments about bullying that are different from the comments about the remaining topics in the YouTube videos. So the automatic part is done with Mozdeh, and the human part is done with me. So the first set of results are descriptive themes. There are a set of themes that essentially described the bullying. So the bullying was horrible, so just describe what happened and why it was nasty. And another theme discussed where the bullying happened, and particularly school. School was the only location for bullying mentioned. Although some comments also discussed online bullying with words like cyberbullying. And some comments discussed the duration of the bullying, or the fact that it occurred in the past. So long-term bullying sometimes. And then the effects of bullying was another theme. Someone became depressed or felt suicidal or felt hurt that the bullying occurred. So these are all descriptive themes, and these are not really surprising although the fact that it does include a theme for the duration of the bullying, and particularly in the past, so showing that people were discussing bullying that had happened a while ago, sometimes years ago, sometimes many years ago. Another set of themes discuss support for the victims of bullying. So these were typically comments from people that hadn't been bullied, commenting towards either the influencer or other commenters who had posted about bullying or spoken about bullying. So one theme was thanking the people who'd spoken about their experience of bullying or for opposing bullying. Another theme was jealousy or other causes of bullying. So these many comments focused on the cause of the bullying, either from the perspective of the bully victim or from the perspective of people supporting the bully victim, but discussions of the cause of the bullying. And another strategy in the comments was to generalize the situation when there was a victim that said specific things like they picked on me for looking like this or for liking this music, or gave details about why they thought they were picked on, then the responses to them were often in the form of a generalization. So children can be cruel, people do this, it's horrible that people do this. So not giving the specifics, oh, you might have been picked on for this, but generalizing to say, okay, well, this is what happens, it's nothing to do with you, but people can be mean. And another strand of support was in the form of expressing compliments for the victims, either for being beautiful or beautiful inside, or for being stronger for surviving the experience, but generally saying something positive towards the victim. Another theme was criticizing the bullies. So in some schools, they have a deliberate policy of not directly criticizing the bullying, but dealing with it in a less confrontational style. But in YouTube, bullies were definitely criticized, and repeatedly. And another strategy was empathizing with the victim. I can relate to that, I know how you feel, but identifying with what the victim said. And advice was also given. So several people gave comments which suggested what the victim should do for ongoing bullying experiences. Okay, so those are the results. So in conclusion, so the channels were almost universally supportive spaces for discussions about bullying. So I think we found only 2 comments that were negative about bullying. For example, negative by blaming the victim to some extent. So there were very supportive spaces where you could anonymously post about your experience, and you could expect that people would only say nice things to you if they replied to your comment. So both the influencers and the commenters were supportive, and they used multiple strategies to support the victims. So the influencers would be powerful individuals like a media figure, so they might provide a strong sense of empowering support from a powerful figure, and the commenters commenting on the experience might provide a sense that nobody likes the bullies, everyone supports you, so you're not alone. In fact, you're the majority in opposing bullying or not liking bullying. And UK female influencer channels are an important resource. So collectively, they've chalked up over 8 billion views of videos on YouTube alone. Instagram's also big. So it seems like that they are a resource, a major resource within which bullying is occasionally challenged and discussed. So providing unexpected source of support, I hope, for former victims and current victims. And a unique finding from this research is that the abstraction or generalization strategy seems to be a widely used, maybe instinctive peer support strategy, where victims are supported by emphasising that there's nothing specific about them that's caused the bullying, but there are more general issues that cause bullying. So they weren't picked on for looking different or for being gay or whatever, but they were picked on essentially randomly because people are mean, because bullies are nasty, for example. So there are more resources available on this website here, so you can visit there to see some of the videos used in the study and extra resources about anti-bullying campaigns. Okay, so I hope that was useful, and please let me know if you have any questions.